Hi, everybody. It is chapter 6 this week, and here's the good news. You have acquired at this point in the course most of all of the basic skills you need throughout the rest of the course. Physics does not get any harder, at least not in our version of physics. So you know how to do the trigonometry, you know how to do the vectors, you know how to solve multiple equation problems, you know how to convert units, you know how to do labs, you know how to do everything. So what we're going to do between now and the end of the semester is every week or so you are going to get another group of equations, another group of ideas, and learn how to apply those to the real world. So that's the fun part. You have acquired the great group of skills that you need for physics. Now we're going to just use those and apply those in just a multitude of different ways. And this week you're going to work on circular motion. Centripetal forces are forces that make things move in a circular path. That includes the force of gravity as it applies to things that orbit, like the Earth orbiting around the sun, the moon, of course, orbiting around the Earth. So this week is all about rotational or circular motion, and we've got a really fun lab for us to do this week. So let's take a look at our schedule first off, before we take a quick little tour of Canvas. You'll notice when you look at our schedule for this week and then the next group of weeks that this week you're going to have a lab due. The lab this week is Whirly Whirly Lab. You're going to have a study guide and a problem set that's due this week. Next week, you're going to engage in another chapter, chapter 7, another lab, another study guide, another homework problem set, and then one concept quiz and problem test that will encompass both weeks. So that's going to be the trend for the next handful of weeks. You're going to be doing a different chapter every week. Now, that might sound like a lot, but the good news is that you have the basic skills. Now we're just going to add a few more equations and a few more ideas every week. So you've got this, you really do, but we're just now going to apply it to some different situations. Chapter 6 on rotation, that centripetal force, another study guide, of course, some equations, some problems, gravity. We're going to talk about orbit and g-forces. There's a lot of really fun videos in this one. I hope you please take a few minutes and watch some of the external YouTube videos, because they illustrate some nifty real-world applications of this. And this collection of videos here are some of my all-time favorites, including cats in a zero-G environment, which is kind of a hoot, and some human beings exposing themselves to way too many G's than is logical. But the lab we're going to do this week is called Whirly Whirly. And the reason it is called Whirly Whirly is because you're going to be spinning things above your head. You're going to be graphing again. We haven't graphed in a week or so. And therefore, the video on how to graph in Excel is here as a sort of reminder. So if you take a look at the lab for this week, there is a bobber that comes with your lab kit, and you're going to put that on a string. And I've included lots and lots of pictures because this is not complicated, but it can be confusing without some illustration of what you're actually doing. So you're going to put a bobber on a string and then thread that through a little tube, put some weights on the end of the string, and here's a picture of me in real life, and you are going to be twirling this in a horizontal circle above your head. Now, as you twirl this in a horizontal circle above your head, you are only going to be touching this little plastic tube. Nowhere does your hand actually touch the string. And the trick when you do this lab is that you have to maintain a fast enough speed so that the radius maintains the same. If you twirl too slow, the bobber is going to move inward and everything's going to start to fall. If you twirl too fast, the radius is going to get bigger. So this is a you're going to have to be coordinated to do this. So make sure you have your coffee or whatever it is that makes you coordinated. And after you've got the hang of this, you're going to have to do a little timing. If you have a friend, family member, colleague, or neighbor that you could talk into helping you do the timing, it wouldn't hurt, but many people do this alone and it works out just fine. You're going to be timing for multiple rotations, then dividing by 10, because all we really want is the time for one rotation. But by doing that, we're going to keep that human reaction time down to a small fraction of your total time. You're going to do some graphing and insert a copy of that graph in the lab, and the quest is going to confirm that centripetal force equals mass times centripetal acceleration. So it's a good lab, it's a fun lab. This week there is no test. We're going to keep a chapter 6 and 7 test at the end of next week. So have a ball whirling things above your head, and we'll talk to you soon. Alrighty, bye-bye.